Hi, and welcome to the first Ramble video on this channel. The visuals are unnecessary, so feel free to tab out or scroll down to the comments to prepare to tell me how out of touch and wrong I am. We're going to be discussing my hot takes on the Project Rebalance coming up. I'm definitely not a game dev or anything, so I don't understand the full implications or what they'd take or anything. And some of these, they probably wouldn't be the best for overall game health, but I still like them, so I'm gonna say them. We're gonna order this from the least spicy ones, getting to, like the 3 chilies on the menu at the end that you need to be really careful of. Alright, so starting with the easy things. Skilling tweets, no hot take. Skilling tweaks, no hot takes there. They seem fine. Void Waker nerf, that seems fine. NPC defenses. Yeah, this seems good. As long as they're not going to overdo it and make, every single NPC in the game require a specific weapon. It's still fine if whip is still ubiquitously just good for Slayer monsters. That's okay. But it's cool to have things that have weaknesses as well. Alright, now we start getting some spicy things. Just medium, just a little dash of spice, maybe just some cracked pepper sort of spice, but at least it's there. The occult change, reducing its magic damage and spreading it out over other items. That seems like a good idea, but it reduces some reward space where we could have had some mid-game mage necklaces. Occult has a really, for Iron Men specifically, has a really high requirement. So there's plenty of space to put like 2 mage necklaces underneath the occult from easier pieces of content to get to. And speaking of, why does the occult drop from the small ones? Make it just a boss drop. I don't care if there's a billion of them in the game, slowly it'll go up in price over time as less of them come in and people stop playing and such. It's worth changing, do it. Alright, now we get on to some real ones. The spice level is starting to increase, we'll be feeling it now. This reduced cost usage of the scythe. Yeah, that seems fine, that's not spicy. But the added accuracy, I think, is fine, but unnecessary. Just make a boss that's not tanky, and suddenly the scythe has, heaps more value. We're RuneScape players. We love XP drops. Number go up, make me happy. When we get XP drops from hitting monsters, it makes us happy. So tanky bosses are just less fun. And if things aren't tanky, and 3x3 and meleeable, the scythe gets heaps of value. Just make some less tanky bosses. It'd be really nice to not need to BGS everything. And you can still make some tanky bosses, just not all of them. Let some 3x3 meleeable squishy things so the scythe can start pumping and its value will go up without it needing to be buffed. Alright, let's crank up that spice now. We've got the Fang. Remove the double slash roll. Why did Fang ever have a slash option? It's this option. It's meant to be a stab weapon. That's like the whole point of it. This should never have been in the first place, and thank God it's being removed. But my spicy take, it's still too good for how common it is. But it's accurate, and as I went over before, accurate is fun. XP drop equals good, so it needs a drop rate nerf. The Fang and the Lightbearer should not be able to drop below 150 invocation in TOA, that's insane. The Rune Pouch and the Gems are good enough for entry mode, that makes entry mode worthwhile doing still. And, while you're at it, put the Shadow above 300. I know that's not in this blog, but I think that would be a good change as well. But also, that's not it. Nerf the drop rates from purples. Shadow's 1 in 24, Masori's are 2 in 24, Wards are 3 in 24, Fang and Lightbearer are 7 out of 24 each. Just drop that down to 4 out of 4 or 5 out of 24 when you hit the purple table. And those sort of spare rolls that are there now, just make it re-roll into a white chest. We don't need quite as many purples. It will be fine. And, it's the air quotes, it's too late. There are so many of them in the game already. It's never too late. Make the change. Let people who've got it already be lucky. It's okay they got lucky. This is improvement for the future. It's better for Iron Man progression for every single Iron Man going forwards. The Fang is way too good for how easy it is to get at the moment. And it increases the item's value for mains, which it should be. It's way too good for how cheap it is. Reduce the Fang drop rate. And Lightbearer too. I think it suffers the exact same issue here. It's just too common. It's a cool item. It should not be as cheap as it is. Make it rarer. Okay. Now onto the minimum hit of 1 if you pass accuracy change. Now a lot of people I've been seeing don't like this change, but I think this change is amazing, with caveats. So let's imagine you're a noob and you go just like hit your goblins with your bronze sword. This is a huge DPS buff for that person. And that person will probably want to play the game more because they're going to have a more enjoyable early game experience. Plus this also just makes sense. Seeing a 0 and not knowing if you missed or if you did hit, but it actually just did 0 damage, kind of weird. Anyway, so that was the noob perspective. For them, it's probably going to make people enjoy the game more at the very start and keep playing. For us making new accounts, we just do Waterfall Quest and Shadow of the Storm and shit, and we skip so many levels and you're not going to notice the DPS buff from it anymore. So it doesn't affect us, but it's good for noobs. There is, however, one place where it affects negatively, and that's PVM. If I'm hitting 40s max on a boss, my expected hit goes from 20 to 20.5, and that's a 2.5% DPS gain. And that's a power gain that we didn't earn from gameplay. Like, if we get a new item and we go and earn that item and it gives us a 2% DPS increase, that's awesome. I'm good with power creep like that. But we didn't earn this one. This is a power gain that's just applied to us, and that is not good. But it's still worth it for the increase in fun that new players are going to have. And we can fix it too for PVM. If we get 2% more DPS, we can go through and just buff bosses' health by 2%. You can go through all PVM that's like reasonable, you know, all 3 raids, Inferno, CG, God Wars, stuff like that. Just add 2% health to all those bosses. That's got 2 downsides. Bosses won't have nice numbers of health, and yes, that's a real downside. Having nice numbers is good and makes things very readable and makes sense. And the second downside is that speedrun times are going to be affected, because this change is to expected DPS, not to max DPS from variants. So I'd say you'd need to discuss with speedrunners if there are some places that this 2% health buff shouldn't be applied. But I think this change is good. Make minimum hit of 1 if you pass accuracy, and buff end-game bosses by 2% health. Alright, on to the final change, which I have a really spicy take for. Woo, get ready for this one. You're going to need some, like, milk or something, because that helps with spice, right? Anyway, run energy. I know this is meant to be like a small thing in the blog, but I have a super spicy take here. Get rid of run energy. Just gone. No more run energy. Everyone runs all the time. It's just more fun. And this is a game. It should be fun. Anytime you're walking, it feels bad. Like, on a high level account now, you click a stamina every few minutes and you never walk anyway. The only effect it has on you is then not needing staminas, which gives you like an extra inventory slot in chambers, which is a downside, and inventory management is important, but I think it's absolutely worth it for just letting people run. Like, on a low-level account, everything feels so much better, and honestly, I would love it. 2 other things to address with this, though. There's the take that people have of, I had to walk, so you have to. This take is dumb. Grow the fuck up. Let things be better for others that you've done, and let things that other people have done be better for you. Let change for the better happen. Next one, staminas are devalued, obviously, because they don't have a use. You can make them do something else. I don't know, make them charge some item or whatever, or just delete them. I'm not going to miss staminas if we can run all the time. Run all the time is fun. Did you not enjoy leagues? Yeah. Alright, there's all my spicy takes. Thank you so much for listening to them, and if you've got some rebuttal or some discussion, feel free to chuck it in the comments. I'd like to reply to some. Before I disappear though, if you watched this whole thing, you obviously have some free time, so, you know, use a little bit of that free time to go and have a listen to my band. We just released a new single, and I'm super proud of it. There's a link in the description, and if you give it a listen, thank you very much. You're my favorite type of person. Ciao.